Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Stock. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Today I would like to go over 3 different stocks that I've been looking at. One of them I purchased today, one of them I purchased a while ago, and another one I've been in for a little while yet, and I think we're getting to a really critical point with their share price. So I want to go over that with you guys. So without further ado, let's get ready to rock. Welcome back. For those of you who are interested, down in the description is a link to my Patreon. If you come over there and check it out, you'll see that I have my dividend portfolio there, growth portfolio. I also have a weekly watch list of stocks that I put out. It's mostly submitted by me, but also anything that my Patreons want to make sure that we're all watching. I'll also add any stocks that they want to put on there. I add all those on. And it's been working out really well so far. This week, the average across all the stocks was 11%. There were plenty of them that were up, that were above 15%, 20%, up to 25%. I think about 25% up was the biggest gainer that was there. So even there was nothing that was really mind-blowing, there was still a lot of really strong gains that were seen there for anybody who chose to invest. So that stuff's over at my Patreon, so if you would like to support the channel in that way and see that stuff that I'm invested in and the weekly watch list of stocks that might also possibly catch your attention, that you might also want to invest in those, you can do that. I invest in some of them. I don't invest in all of them. Some of them I have positions in, and a lot more I don't have positions in. So that's all over there. Down in the description, you can check it out if you want to. Thanks in advance for that. Also, down in the description, you'll find a link for Webull. By signing up and depositing $100, you get 2 free stocks. I get 2 free stocks for the referral, so it's just further support for the channel. I'm very thankful to everybody who's supported so far in that way, so thank you. And I'm also very thankful for anybody who just watches. I like to put this stuff out there just to try and help everyone with the knowledge and the experience that I have, and hope that it works out well for you. So I better move on. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the like button, hit the notification bell, share it with your friends. Let's get on to the stocks. Alright, so this first stock that we're looking at here, this is Lordstown Motors, ticker symbol RIDE, or RIDE, if you want to call it that. And you can see, it just had a relatively large gap down below support. There was a short seller report that came out, said that that their product is a mirage, and you shouldn't bother investing with this company. And it's a short seller report, so if they have a short position and then they come out and say, hey, this is why we have that short position, and if they have a lot of influence in the market, if people read the reports and they make their decisions based off those reports, then they really stand to gain big. So even if it is a valid way to approach it, and maybe it is, I didn't even read the whole thing this time, I'll tell you how I played it in just a moment. But even if it is all valid, it's going to cause, they're going to make money instantly off the short sell just by putting out that report. So they know what they're doing, and if I had that sort of influence, I could easily use it to my advantage as well. And a lot of people who are much better than I am would also be able to do the same thing. So when you read them, you should consider the things that they have to say, but you should also see if what the other research has to say. So if there's other short reports that are out there, or there's other evidence with the company or in the industry that they're in or sector that they're in, or if you look at the bullish cases for them, the truth is usually somewhere in the middle, because the bulls are going to make it paint it green, the bears are going to paint it red. So you have to do your own research and due diligence to really make that decision. So let me tell you what I did today. I was in the Discord, and somebody said, wow, Ride is really taking it rough today. So I jumped over real quick, saw what happened, saw that this thing dropped. And as a matter of fact, here, we'll go down to the 30-minute chart so we can look intraday. And you can just see that huge pre-market sell-off that we had when that report hit. And when you see a sell-off like that, typically there's a bounce that follows. So everybody panics, they sell, you have people's stop losses go off, which end up causing more downward pressure. So all that downward pressure, it ends up hitting a floor, and a lot of times, when things hit the floor, they bounce back up. And so that's what I was hoping to do with this one. So seeing this thing bottom out, 1364 it says was the low price that it hit. I think I got in somewhere between, it was either high 13s or very low 14s, and I didn't necessarily purchase it because I thought that it was going to be a great buy. Honestly, I don't know enough about Lordstown Motors to even weigh in on that, but I do know about bounces. And with that bounce coming back, I knew that I could capitalize on that, and last I looked, I was up about 7% or so with the price that I have, and with the after hours being at about $15, I'm probably still around that 6 to 8% mark, we'll call it, for my investment that I put in there. I decided, because it was a smaller one, it was just taking advantage of the bounce. If I did a bigger position, I would have taken it out prior to the end of the day today, but I decided I think that this thing will recover a little bit more just by looking at the daily chart and what it has with that huge gap down. I think it is going to recover. As a matter of fact, I think that over time, as long as I think we can make it back up to that $18 mark that it had before the short report came out. So we'll wait and see for that to happen. I might move up my stop price just to either break even or maybe even slightly profitable, just so it doesn't erase all my gains. But I am giving this thing some room to run. So leaving it down and taking on that small risk, I think that it's really going to pay off handsomely. So I'm going to see what happens with this stock coming up. If I feel like it's time for me to exit, my stop is set, I'll exit it. If it doesn't get back up to that $18 mark fast enough, I might set a trailing stop, we'll see. But if you see a stock rip downward like that, usually just, you can wait for it to bounce. It doesn't always bounce, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's something that you want to stay in, but it's something that you can expect to happen at some point. And if you're lucky enough to catch it near the bottom, then you can get a pretty sizable bounce, especially when it drops as hard as this one did. So Lordstown Motors, play it how you want to play it. And for me, it was most definitely taking advantage of the huge drop that it had following the short sellers report, and I expect that recovery to come back in. And for some people it's a long-term investment. For me, I probably won't stay in this one long-term, but I did want to take advantage of that moment, that opportunity that happened in the market. And if you are a long-term investor, then you had a great opportunity today that you may not have been expecting to see. All right, for this next stock, I'm going to use it to give a shout out to Uncle Larry. He most definitely is one of my favorite YouTubers. Now, mind you, I had a ton of respect for him, when I saw him hit the scene. And I love the way that he speaks, that not only about finance, trying to educate people. I mean, he's really super passionate about helping people and building community, and just hands down, he's just a classy guy. The one episode that really won me over with him, he had his sport coat on, and he had his pocket square, what I thought was a pocket square, and then all of a sudden, he's given his message for the day, and he goes in this, and he takes out the pocket square. He goes, "This is a sock." And I lost my mind from that day forward. He already had my respect in the first place, but I mean, he just seems like a really classy guy. If you haven't checked out Uncle Larry, go check out Uncle Larry. My point for bringing him up here, besides being a classy guy, the drive shack that we got right here. You can see they had a huge day today. Look at that volume spike that they had. One of the sayings is that the price follows the volume, and this volume that we have in that green candle, they needed to come back, and this is definitely a recovery play as we get back to normalcy. The price target, I think there's two different analysts on this, one at $5, one at $5.50. So take your pick. That's a 66%-ish upside from where it's at right now over the next 12 months. I was in a little bit under $3 on this one. So thanks, Uncle Larry, for that one, and I'll hang around in this one for a while. I think that it feels right, and I'll see how it plays out as we recover, as the economy comes back, as people go back to feeling safe and going out again with all the vaccines. I really think that we'll break the different resistance that we have here. That's right around that mid $3 range, from like $3.40 up to like $3.60 or so. So keep an eye on it. Maybe it's something that has potential for you. And if it's something that you feel like reading more about, then by all means, go ahead and read more about it. See what you think. Thank you, Uncle Larry, for the tip, for the suggestion. I like this play too. I think he was in a lot earlier than I was. I feel like he was in at under $2. And I don't know if he stayed in or not, but if he did, then well, it's been paying off handsomely so far. All right, the final stock is not a new one, but I bring it up again because I think that we're getting to an exciting point with the share price. So GNOG, Golden Nugget Online Gaming, it's been moving up pretty well over the past couple of days since the sell-off that we had. It's really turned around. But when you look at the daily chart, you can see that we keep stopping at resistance just under the $17 per share mark, and that makes Monday a really important day. So when we look at the recent price activity that it's had, you can see, even if you look back looks all the way back to September, we kind of get locked in with this whole floor and ceiling idea of just 17 or just below 17 being the right price, if you want to call it that. And I just think that they're really have a strong case for taking off. And if you look at the analyst price targets of 24 up to I think $27 a share over the next 12 months, you know, there's still a 50% upside from where we're at right now. Looking intraday makes this more interesting because right now we are we closed at that resistance price. And if we look intraday, you'll see a really interesting shape come up. Let me zoom in on this for you. Look at this. So this thing ramped up today, the stock price, and then it just held solid in the upper 16s, and the bulls not letting it come back down to where it was. I think that there might be enough upward pressure that we might see this thing break out upwards. Some people might argue that they see a little bit of a flag formation here. I would like to see a little bit more confirmation with a few more things before saying that, but I think that we have a strong possibility of breaking that resistance. So Monday is an important day. If we see it in the pre-market, you know, that might be a little bit of a sign, but that's all low volume activity. You know, maybe good news as a catalyst coming out of it, like that they finally launched in Pennsylvania. That would be excellent. I think that'd be an excellent catalyst. But right now, what I'm going off of is the fact that we didn't really do much. I mean, besides this candle right here, this red one below says 1664. We're still pushing that $17 mark. We just need to break it, and if we do that, we have room up to I think about like 18 or mid-18s or something like that. But I easily see this stock getting back to $20 per share within the next few months, and so that's like a 15 to 20% upside from where they're at right now. So I know I've talked about Golden Nugget before. You know, the share dilution from the warrant redemption is done, so we don't have to worry about that. I said after that we should see that stock price come back, and that happened on March the 8th is when that happened, and that was Monday. And then we've had a heck of a run in the market since. Golden Nugget has moved right up along with it, and like I said, we got to crack that $17 mark. If we can, then we should have enough room for another $1.50 you know, of a run before we hit more resistance. However, if we don't break that 17, the next thing that we're looking for is we're looking to not put in a new low. And with that most recent low that we have of $12.32, I don't think that we'll see that low again. As a matter of fact, we want to stay up above this $14 mark. And if I go back a little bit further, we can see if we have any other lows that would really be a sign for us. So I don't know that we would retrace all the way back to even the 1530 mark that I have right here. But we do want to see the lows stay higher, and we need those highs to go higher because that's going to show us that we have more bullish activity in the stock price. So keep it on your radar. If you're invested already, you know, keep your fingers crossed for Monday. If you're thinking about buying into the stock and you see the upward pressure that I do, and you've done your research and your due diligence and you decide to take a shot, I think we have a decent shot on Monday of more green as long as the market bias is there with us. And if we have a strong market bias, that can really also help us push past that $17 mark. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. And I think that we have a good shot at keeping that elevated stock price where it doesn't quite give back into those lower dollar amounts. So let me summarize. Lordstown Motors, I just don't know enough about the company to feel fully confident. I put them on about the same level as Workhorse, and I'm already invested in Workhorse, so I figure one or the other. And I know some people might say, well, why don't you dump half of Workhorse and, you know, put that half of the investment into Lordstown so that way you got that coin flip going on. And, you know, I could do that. I just like Workhorse more, and, you know, maybe they'll even get that part of that $6 billion or maybe all the $6 billion front that the government wants to offer for some of their EV fleet vehicles. I don't know. We'll see what goes on. So Lordstown is a short-term play for me. And I think that in the short term, it's going to go back up near that $18 mark. I don't know when that'll happen, maybe within the next week or 2 weeks. We'll see what goes on. PR is going to be a big part of that, what Lordstown responds with to that short sellers report. Hopefully they tell us something good. Hopefully we get some good news. Other EV market catalysts are also going to move along with it. Drive Shack has that $5 price target within the next 12 months. I can see it getting there just with the economy reopening, and as long as they can bring people in and bring those strong financials to us, we should see that growth come along with it. And like I said, it's about a 60-ish% upside from where it's at right now. And then Golden Nugget also offering about a 50% upside from where it's at now. And I really think that we're about to break resistance on Monday. Again, watch the market bias. So if we have a red market, it's going to drag that price back down, but that would be, market effect. And what we want is, green from the markets, so also green with Golden Nugget. So just watch out for those macroeconomics, how they influence it. But right now, if everything's good on Monday market-wise, then I think we should be in good shape for Golden Nugget. And any company-specific news coming out for Golden Nugget, I think would be positive as far as I can tell. So if any news does come out, I can see it happening as a catalyst, unless, we get more of the short sellers reports like we've seen recently popping up all over the place. So that's what I have for you today. If you want to check out my Patreon, my portfolios, you talk to me on Discord, all that stuff is over there. I'm in and out of Discord all week long, and on my Patreon I usually add to that on the weekends. So that's what I have for you today. If you want to check out my Patreon and my portfolios and talk to me on Discord, that link's down in the description. You can go over, sign up. I'd be glad to have you there. Also, down in that description is the link for Webull. If you need a trading platform, sign up, put in your $100, get your 2 free stocks. And thank you for the support in advance. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Remember, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research and due diligence. Contact a financial advisor before making any financial decisions. I'm Dr. Stock. Thanks for rocking with me. Now go get that money.